Happy Monday, career drivers. This is Andrala Walker, founder of Envision Career Success, and I am welcoming you to Make a Move Monday here in the career drivers community. Before I get started, I just want to apologize in advance. I'm still suffering with sinus, and I feel like my face is about to explode. So, hi, Kat. So glad you're here. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend. It is totally spring here in Washington, D.C. Pollen is flying everywhere, and it's got me. So I'm puffy and my face is all um, blown up, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm so happy that so many of you are joining. So welcome to Career Drivers. In this community, you will be learning so much about careers, particularly government careers, and how you can get connected. I'm Angela Walker, your host, and today on today's Make a Move Monday, we're going to talk about the top 3 tips to getting the salary you want. Now, this past Saturday on our salary shift, hi Archie, I'm so glad you're here. So this past Saturday on Salary Shift Saturday, I got a great question from someone in the community, Ruth, about what do you do when you're going into a salary negotiation? As she said, I guess I should maybe do some prep work. And I'm like, hi. Yeah, you should. And those are the top 3 tips that I want to talk about today, because I'm actually getting this question a lot. So one of the things that I'm hearing people talk about all the time is, okay, Andrea, how do I negotiate salary? So I'm about to give you some insider tea on Make a Move Monday here in the Career Drivers community. So let's just jump right into it. Tip number 1, as it relates to salary increases and how do you get paid? I know a lot of us, when we are trying to move up the ladder, we don't even really think about salary negotiations. I know that, all the statistics say that for women, we are less likely, get this, up to 80% less likely to negotiate salaries than our male counterparts. Yeah, it's like we get the job offer and we're just like, "Ooh, thank you." And then we find out years later that we're being paid so much less than our counterparts. So the number 1 tip I want to give you, especially if you're a woman watching this, is number 1, give yourself permission to negotiate your salary, right? How many times have you been in the position where you're starting a job, or you go into your performance review and you don't even feel like you can even say, I'd like a raise? How many of us? I know I've been in that position, right? So one of the things is building the inner confidence to make that step, to take that action. So give yourself permission. That's the first thing. Give yourself permission to ask for salary increases. If you don't ask, they're not going to know that you're interested in that at all. So once we've gotten that confidence, let's go into step 2. I want you to determine your worth, or determine the worth of the position that you're negotiating. Now, how do you do that, you might ask? Well, there are several different resources that can help you. One of my favorites, you'll hear me talk about it a lot, is glassdoor.com. One word, Glassdoor, Glassdoor.com. Glassdoor.com has a salary calculator, and you can actually go to that resource, type in the salary title, the location, the geographic location where you are in the country, and it will give you a salary range. Now, I suggest for everyone, don't go into these types of conversations without any type of prep. I mean, you may think that you're just going to go in and ask for a raise, but it actually is a conversation, and you want to have some good data to back you up. So do the research, get your data first. Go to glassdoor.com, look up the salary of the position that you are thinking about either applying for or getting a promotion into. Do your homework and get that salary range. And once you do that, you will have a basis for asking. You'll also have a basis for knowing whether or not they're offering you a salary that is within the range that you're thinking it should be. So you kind of have some data as opposed to just going in blind. So is that making sense? So let's recap those two things. First, I want you to give yourself permission. Salary negotiation is a part of the career process. Give yourself permission to say, you know what? I'm going to put it out on the table. I'm going to say, here's what I have to offer, and here is what I would like to make. You got to give yourself permission. And then secondly, do your research. Research the positions. Get some information about what that is prior to going into that kind of conversation. I know it can feel shaky, but do those things and you'll begin to feel more confident. So let's talk about tip number 3, which is one of my favorite tips across the board for your career. Have a brag book. Make sure that as you're going through your career, that all the compliments you're getting, all the accomplishments you're making, that you are writing them down, or if you're a techie, that you are dropping them into an electronic folder on your computer, right? Put a folder that just says brag book. And every time someone sends you a compliment that you've done a great job, that you have given them superior customer service, whatever it is, that you just nailed a deal, that you just did something amazing, put it in that folder, write it down. So when you go into your next salary negotiation, you can put it on the table and say, hey, you know what? I did this, I accomplished, I achieved these things. This is why I believe that I should be paid X amount. And based on the research I've been doing, I think that this is a fair offer. Now, come on. Wouldn't you feel better walking into a conversation having that information? Just, let me know. Drop a comment. #replay if you're watching this on the replay. If you're here, just let me know. Would it make you feel more confident to walk into a conversation knowing your research, having done that homework, and having your accomplishments already laid out? I often say that, people kind of wait sometimes to the performance review to write stuff down, and sometimes people don't even write it down, but I'm telling you, you're creating your own advantage. I'm reading what Archie is saying. She says, I remember having a recruiter present an offer in an email, and it would tell me what they were offering for pay. How would you recommend opening the door to a conversation to negotiate? That's a great question, Archie, because a lot of times, particularly when you're negotiating for federal jobs, a lot of that negotiation is going on via email. That is just a really great question. So what I would recommend that you do is that you figure out a way to take that conversation offline. Like you either say to that, and several times when you're negotiating for a federal job or a government job in particular, you're not going to be talking to the hiring manager. You're going to be talking to the HR person at the agency. So I think, and I've had the experience where you can ask to talk directly to them. Hey, can I call you and ask you a couple of questions? Take that conversation that is an email offline to a personal call where you can not only ask questions, but make your salary negotiation offer. So once they've given you an offer, then you have done some research and you want to give a counter offer. Now, In some cases in government, there won't be a lot of space to negotiate, but there are some things you can negotiate. So to answer your question, Archie, what I would recommend is that you attempt to take the conversation, thank you, offline into a personal phone call with that person, and that gives you a little more leverage. A lot of times when people talk on the phone voice to voice, they hear you, they know that people do this. And let me just say this, salary negotiation is a very normal thing. Ladies, I'm going to emphasize this for us in particular. We don't like to negotiate. We don't like to talk about money, but our male counterparts do it all the time. So in actuality, many companies, many bosses, many potential employers are actually waiting for you to do it. Do you think I'm kidding? They're actually waiting. They get disappointed sometimes when you don't negotiate. I'm very serious about this. They are actually waiting for you to jump in and say, well, you know, I've been doing some research, and based on my years of experience and based on some of the things that I have achieved and done, this is what I think I would like to make. What do you think? And then be quiet and wait for it. Because one of the things I always say in salary negotiations is you never throw out the first number. Give them an opportunity to make you an offer. Make sure you do your research and then counter with an offer. So we've talked about my top 3 tips, and I'm going to throw in a bonus just because you're here watching me today. So top 3 tips, I want to recap them. First of all, I want you to get comfortable. I want you to get really comfortable with asking for what you deserve, getting paid what you're worth. A huge, huge part of it is getting comfortable. That's the first thing. Thank you so much, Archie. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to do your homework. I want you to do some research. So I want you to go to glassdoor.com, which is my personal favorite. In fact, I will type it in the comments so you guys will have the website of glassdoor.com, and I want you to get on that website. They have a salary calculator which will help you know what salary range is a particular job depending on where you are in the country. So glassdoor.com. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to create a brag book. Now, this will help you across the board, not just in salary negotiations, but when you're talking about promotions, when you're talking about your performance review. How many of us get all nervous right around the time of a performance review? Well, a lot of times that's because we haven't taken the time to gather this information about all the things we're doing. So if you kind of do it along the way, if you create that brag book, whether it's a physical folder or an electronic folder that you keep on your computer where you put your accomplishments, your achievements, your compliments, awards, anything that you get that you want to just have. Let me tell you something. Sometimes when I get when in my career, when I've been oh my God, why do I want to do this? Sometimes I open my brag folder and I'm like, yeah, you look at those compliments that people have given you, and it really gives you that confidence, and it gives you that affirmation sometimes that you need, if you know what I mean, to get ahead. So I really want you to consider doing that. Create a brag book, no matter what part of your career you're in, whether you're just beginning, you're midway in, you're all the way on the end of trying to, thank you so much for the hearts, of trying to exit. Make sure you're noting your accomplishments and your achievements along the way. Now, with those 3 things in place, strategize as to how you're going to allow yourself to have that conversation with your employer. And I guarantee you that even if you don't get the salary that you're wanting, you will get closer to having the right negotiation of your dreams. The last thing I want to throw out as a bonus, because I often say this to folks who focus in so much on the dollar amount, I want you to consider benefits as part of the compensation package. Now, I know I've said this before, but I really want to emphasize this because folks continue to ask me, and so I really want to say this to you. When you think about benefits like childcare, transit, commuter benefits, health insurance, life insurance, flex time, working from home, consider all of those things in your total compensation package. So for example, if they're offering 60 or 70,000 K and you really wanted 100,000, but they're willing to let you work from home 3 to 4 days a week and you really want that flexibility, that might balance it out. If they're willing to pay childcare, if they're willing to support your tuition reimbursement for you to go on and get higher degrees or more training that will allow you to make more. Think about all of those things as part of your compensation package and include it in salary negotiations. Now, I know that's been a lot. It's a heavy topic, but guess what? It's so necessary. It is so necessary when you're trying to go to the next level. And if you need more help or more support, I want you to get on a call with me. Schedule a career success call. I'll drop my link for you, but get on a call with me if you want to talk through how you can do this and do this more successfully. And once you do it once, let me tell you, it gets easier and easier and easier. So on Make a Move Monday, I'm giving you my top 3, but I feel like I've given you like 4 or 5, but a lot of tips on getting the salary you deserve. Now, if you have questions about any aspect of careers, particularly government careers, I want you to drop it or create a post and let me know what your questions are. This week, we got some great content for you, but I wanted to kick the week off with Make a Move Monday because I wanted to respond to Ruth's question. Thank you so much, Ruth, for dropping that question in the group on Salary Shift Saturday. It's Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Archie, Kat, thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, I want you to put hashtag replay rocks and let me know what you thought about this. And if you come up with any more questions about salary, let me know. But again, I want you to get comfortable with the idea of asking for salary increases. It is a part of your career success strategy. You got to have a whole plan to get it done. And if you need help with that, let me know. So thanks so much for joining. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Waiting for the sun to come out in Washington, D.C. It's still overcast. And like I said, lots of pollen flying all around. But I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on Title Change Tuesday, which is one of my favorite segments of the week, where we're going to be taking a private sector job title and translating it to a public sector job title. So you don't want to miss that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.